Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be Queen versus Last. Here on Fighting Spirit, top left, it's going to be our Zerg player Queen. And on the bottom right, it's going to be Last. An excellent TVZ here for you today. Got Terry the Overlord moving out, scouting. What's up, Terry the Overlord? You have your own shirt now and a mug. Check it out at falconpaladin.store. The link is in the top right here. We've got Terry the Overlord shirts that say Terry the Overlord with a picture of Terry the Overlord, and just another shirt that is just a picture of Terry the Overlord. Also a mug. We've got two types of hoodies, a lighter one and a more thick and substantial one. We also have a nice beanie for those of you who like to wear beanies, especially in the cold months if you're in the northern hemisphere. But the southern hemisphere will be cold another 6 months from now. So maybe plan ahead. All right. All right, so this should be an excellent, excellent TVZ here on Fighting Spirit. Last is a super, super skilled Terran player, and Queen is an excellent Zerg player. I have no idea who's going to come out on top here. Scouting. Scouting is, again, Terry the Overlord. And either, yep, there we go. It's going to be a hatch first play here at 11 supply here from Queen. No proxies here today for Last. There it is. Ba-ba-bam. About 11 hatch there. And a drone going to scout on out, try to see what's going on, because Terra the Overlord might not see anything in the top right corner here, which is entirely 100% possible. So no gas quite yet here, indicates probably a bit of a quick expansion here, which is something that Last wants to do, unless he wants to go for like a 3 racks play here. Try to get some pressure up and kill a bit of a greedy opening hatch first play here from the Zerg, but dunno. Again, this is probably a macro game, although I don't know. I cast sneaky twofers. I had one last week. I'm not going to tell you which game it was. But definitely, I do the sneaky twofers from time to time. And anyone who's been on my channel for any length of time knows that I do. Steve the SCV scouting up. And again, like I said, if the response to the Terra the Overlord t-shirt is good, then we'll go ahead and invest into making a Steve the SCV t-shirt. So I'll check with Samacron, who is my partner in crime here. Yeah, there's the expansion. He knows. He knows it was a hatch first. No reason for him to go for anything other than just a quick command center. Get that economy running. But yeah, Samacron, we'll talk to him. And we'll see how the response to the Terra the Overlord shirt has been. And if it's been enough, then yeah, we'll go ahead and toss up a Steve the SCV prototype. Kind of the same, along the same lines of the Terra the Overlord style, I think. And we'll get it out there for you Terran fans who love Steve the SCV. He's always very brave, man. Especially in TVZs. Right? You don't know when lings are going to show up. You don't know when drones are going to try to shoot you in the face. But he's over here scouting anyway. He might die. But by golly, he's going to be here to scout and try to get a scout on that lair timing anyway. That block on the ramp was a little bit weird from Queen, right? We don't see that very much. Where you're like, you're not getting inside SCV. Indicates that maybe... I don't know what... Like, what are we trying to hide here? It's a TVZ. The opening is always the same. I mean, it's not always the same. That's a lie. Sometimes we try to get to Aspire real fast. Sometimes we get a lair before we get Metabolic Boost, which is not what's happening here. This is a Metabolic Boost play, intriguingly, and a bit of a Marine push out. Trying to save Steve the SCV from the fate of getting hacked to death by Zergling Claws, and does a great job with that. So goodbye, Zergling. Steve lives to fight another day. Yeah, these lings don't want to engage with those Marines. They're slow lings. They're the worst units in the entire gosh darn game. Academy coming up back home. There's your lair. Now that the second 100 gas has popped in, actually. Could have started. Oh, actually, he did start it a little bit earlier. That progress bar is a little bit further along, isn't it? Look at Steve, man. Oh, Steve. No. Steve had his orders, and Steve is dead now. Ling's checking to make sure nothing bad is up here. He really wants to get a third base up, but he made a ton of lings, too. This could be extremely dangerous all of a sudden for Last, who's got a handful of Marines, but he doesn't have any kind of a wall off here. No supply depots preventing any kind of an attack. I guess what prevents the attack run by up onto this ramp is these Marines Obviously, this guy wants to get up the ramp. No, say the Marines, you can't. And, okay, so they see the guys on the ramp and say, well, what if we mess with your mineral line? What if we force your SCVs to retreat, stop all of the mining at this natural base entirely? How do you like that? Forcing a liftoff on your second base, too. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? He's invested a lot into these lings, though. So much. He's making a ton of drones behind it. He's trying to catch up in economy because making these lings, I don't know if they paid for themselves. Now that there's fire bats and medics in this group, though, I don't think these lings want to engage with this at all. And let's see if Queen does it. Sort of. And then he's like, nope. No, no, no. Absolutely not. And once again, loses a couple of lings there for no reason. Bad times. Okay. Another SCV dies. Another Steve dies. But here comes our attack. We got Marines. We got medics. We got fire bats. It is at least forcing Queen to throw up some emergency sunkens here. Or at least creep colonies. Maybe don't upgrade them to sunkens until you know that last is on your doorstep, which he's not. So you'll notice. Oh, he is doing it. Never mind. He is getting sunkens up. Spire's on the way. Macro hatch exists. No sign of a third base yet. Again, fairly hard to defend a third base from this kind of thing that last is going for. Unless... he scans the natural, sees gas, sees sunkens. Unless you've got lurkers, which, nope. There are no lurkers here today. And we scan here, see the Spire. Great. Scan's a good unit, man. I mean, do you have any kind of an excuse ever as a Terran player to not know what your Zerg opponent is up to? I don't think you do. I don't think you have any kind of an excuse whatsoever. Range upgrade coming in. +1 attack coming in. Factory on the way. Last. Kind of winning this early game a little bit. Because, yeah. I mean, okay. Once the mutas are out, you can kind of keep the Terran at home and go take a third base while you get a Hydralisk 10 up and get lurkers. But, ooh, bit of a Ling run by. Oh, beautiful Ling run by. Sees the factory, sees the starport, sees the timing when he needs to worry about science vessels. Awesome. Super awesome stuff here. A Ling scout at this time. Again, Terrans get this for free, but for Zerg, it's like, can I please get a Ling inside to scout? It'd be great. And then it is great. Fire bats. I don't think the fire bats have been allowed to unleash their flamethrowers yet. Which is good for the lings, but bad for the fire bats. They want to use those things. They're really fun. Alright, Mutaflock is up. It's pretty beefy too, but 2 turrets with Marines protecting this line with a range upgrade. So the Marines have it. Let's see. See, this is what it feels like to be last. With Queen bouncing in and bouncing out. The Muta's getting into the fog of war. Where'd he go? Is he here? Did he go down this way? Did he retreat? Is he going to try to move into the main base? You don't know. Aha! He came down here and he's moving in. Oh, you thought about it, but great Marine positioning there. This is fun. That's great. So, third base. While everybody's worrying about the Mutalisks back home in Terranville. No push out at all is a little bit interesting. Oh, there's another scan. And he does. He scans the third base, sees exactly when it's coming up. My gosh, Last. Last, you're killing it, dude. Although this Muta harass, I don't know. It's been pretty good. I think maybe... No, I think he had 9. I don't think he's lost a Mutalisk yet. Which is what allows him... Okay, he lost one. But allows him to keep doing this. If his mutas are alive, it keeps happening. If he's down to like 3 mutas, he can't anymore. Obviously. So here comes the attack on the third base. And there's a cancel on the third base because no Lurker Tech exists yet. Because we're going for a Hive instead. What is this? Crazy Zerg? This isn't Crazy Zerg. Because Crazy Zerg is a just straight up rush for Ultralisks. You do not make Mutalisks. You just try to survive with Lings and Sunkens and stuff until... you can get up to Ultras, and then you try to kill the Terran real fast. It's pretty effective, unless the Terran knows how to deal with it, in which case it sucks, which is why we don't see it very much. It's just basically getting armor upgrades for your Marines helps them survive really well against the Ultras. It makes the Ultras take like 1 or 2 more hits to kill them, and then they just take way too many hits from the Marines, and everybody's sad. So there was a drone hiding in here. It's dead. Firebat's like, do I have to stick around to make sure the third base doesn't happen? Top right third base exists, and Lurker's defending it too. Mutas. Okay, no more Mutas have died. Just the 1. Just the 1. Ooh, and there's your Nidus Canal. I guess that's what you can do if you get a fast Hive and a Defiler Mound, and wow. Nothing else really tier 3 going on here, but that third base pops at 9 minutes, which feels so late. Feels so late. Irradiate's almost done. We don't have, like, any Ultras or any Defilers out at all. I mean, I guess that's not too weird in TVZ for there to be Irradiate on Lurkers and stuff, and there's nothing else tier 3 from the Zerg player whatsoever. Not strange at all. So, this is where you can't bust up this ramp with your infantry unless you got maybe a tank with you. A Science Vessel is a great tool for that, too. It's just like an Allen wrench or something when you're trying to build something from IKEA. This is building something from IKEA. This is the Allen wrench, in my metaphor. Doesn't have a lot of Irradiates available because it's just the one Science Vessel for now, but there are more in production, obviously. 2 ports would be nice, but not working on a second starport here at all. 104 to 80 supply right now for the Terran. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty strong about himself here. Last is playing extremely well. He's preventing the 4th base from happening here for the Zerg player for quite some time, at least until Dark Swarm pops up, and then suddenly the evacuation of this will happen. But 4th base there, and a scan to see what's on the top of the ramp. 4 Lurkers spread out pretty good. Sees there's a Nidus for instant reinforcements, and Defilers can pop out of that thing. That too, it's a pretty scary building actually. Looks kind of fun to go down though. I know it looks gross. It's like dripping and gooey and stuff, but the light makes it look like there's a party down there. So I say we jump down there and just see what happens. I mean, what happens is we pop out over here, which, I don't know, not much of a party going on, I guess. Maybe maybe the Zergs are having a party. Maybe Zerg parties are different from human parties. Possible. But yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. I mean, I'm here 6 times a week with Brood War content, so like do that. Also 60,000 subs, man. It's a goal we're trying to hit. I am so close to 60, and 60 feels like a weird number to celebrate, but at the same time, I feel like I've been trying to get to 60 for the last, like, 2 years of the channel. So it's been a while. I've been kind of stuck in the 50s for a long time. But 60 would be awesome. Yeah, Dark Swarm, guess what I said? Dark Swarm Lurker. Oh, no! Reaction time too slow! Last loses that stuff. Oh, and we're doing... Oh, wait! I thought maybe we're just doing the Vulture thing where we make Vultures out of the one factory we have and give them Spider Mines, etc., etc. But this might be a mech transition out of our dude Last. Every Terran fan just, like, jumped for joy when they heard that. They were like, really? Mech? Yes, we actually have had some mech on the channel recently, so that's nice. And it has won some and lost some against Zerg. It's not like the ultimate victory of all time. You just make mech against Zerg, and you'll win as a professional Terran. It's like, no. 5th base coming up here at the natural for the top right spawn for the Zerg player. And sneaking down a third... Well, this isn't sneaky. This is traditional 3rd base location for the Terran at the 6 o'clock-ish. And a bottom left, fairly quick 4th from Last. I like that quite a bit. That is some pretty fantastic play from him. Good macro. Trying to sneak it in there. Another scan reveals... We got Sunkens and Lurkers and Defilers to irradiate and nothing to stop the Science Vessels from getting in there. So we'll do that, thanks. Oh, do not die. My gosh. Wait, did he consume that? Consuming an irradiated Defiler. Smart. I mean, consuming anything that's irradiated is pretty smart because it's going to die anyway. You might as well get some energy value from it on your Defiler, right? Is he expending here too? Dude. Yeah, he's floating out his barracks. Factory. But, I don't know. Queen droning up a whole bunch. Got that Defiler tech out, which again changes everything. Scourge, connect. Yeah, that's a dead sign. No, the jukes! Ah! The jukes were so good! Oh, the jukes. Okay. That's what we're talking about. Every Terran fan's just like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the Science Vessel moves, because every time Scourge come try to kill my Science Vessels, they die. And by they, I mean the Science Vessels. Oh, Last's mech. Last's mech is so good. It's just so strong. It is. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm never like, man, he could really improve his mech. Why does he have so few Vultures? Or why is his Spider Mine laying so terrible? Or he only has 3 tanks. Like, no, none of that stuff. He's always got 1,000,000 tanks and a ton of Vultures, and Spider Mines are all over the place, and Science Vessels for irradiates, and yeah, this gets tough for Zerg players to deal with at a certain point, but drops are a good way to deal with it. if you're a Zerg player. I mean, the bigger problem here is that he's meching and he just went up to 5 bases, which is exactly what Queen has, which is bad. Because being on even base count against a Terran player is bad enough when they're SK Terraning you, but when they're meching you, nope. Ultraless Cavern coming in, that's just not... Ultraless Cavern's just not what you want. I'm sorry. Ultras are not the answer to mech traditionally. Sometimes they are. I'll give you a sometimes rating on it. Sometimes we see the Zerg player win with Ultras. Especially if they drop Ultras. Nice plague on those Vultures, man. Oh, and then you Lurker here. And that's 1 spine hit for 4 Vulture kills. 10 kills on that Lurker, by the way. So this base is necessary for 0. He cannot lose it. And I love it when a Terran sends his barracks out and just parks them over the base of the enemy Zerg, the base is, because there's nothing that can shoot up over here. It's just like, oh, this is going to scout you forever. Good luck killing it. Yeah, this is where Last says, no, you actually can't have this base. We're going to kill it. And there's really not much here from 0 to stop that from happening. And as always, you can support me at patreon.com/Falcon Paladin if you feel like it. For as little as $1 a month. Gets access to videos that other people cannot see. Brood War videos. And StarCraft 2 videos, but I don't think you're interested in that. Yeah. Alright, so this is, again, an important base. Scanning all over the place here. Okay, alright. Are there any queens? No, good. I mean, not that any Terran player is really terrified of queens. The win rate of queens against mech on this channel is about 5%. It's not good. Okay, Ling. Oh, dropping Lings on the tanks. Spider Mines killing tanks. That's what we're talking about. Just a little Spider Mine friendly fire. Never hurt no one. Right side base dead. Left side base. Why are these Lings not killing this missile turret? I don't know. Trying to Ling Lurker Dark Swarm as a way to get rid of these tanks that are parked on the ramp of the 3 o'clock. And okay, it's kind of working. Dude, 5 more Ultras are on the way. He's got a lot of beefy boys here. He's working on chitinous plating for them because being able to survive is a little bit more important than being fast, and it's hard. Most of the time, I like going for chitinous plating first and then anabolic synthesis, but your mileage may vary. Yeah, Spider-Maning up the center here, turreting up the center here. This is kind of the stage. 183 to 168 supply for the Terran. This is the kind of the stage of the game where the Zerg player is just trying to like run around the map with Lings and figure out what's going on, and Spider Mines are killing everything, and they're just like, huh. So my army can't move out is what you're trying to tell me. Although, I don't know, sometimes you send these early Ling groups, and they do kind of clear a path ahead for the Ultras, because Ultras taking Spider Mines is bad. Lings taking Spider Mines is usually a pretty cost-effective thing for the Terran player, but Ultras taking Spider Mine hits, I mean, it basically ignores the armor because it's such a big burst of damage, right? That's where it gets tough to deal with. It's 125 damage. So, yeah, you've got 8 armor, but that's still 120 damage you're taking. Ugh. Scourge, no. Okay, that's always a problem, too. As a Zerg player, if your Scourge are not connecting with Science Vessels, you're just probably gonna die. It's not a one-to-one correlation, but the number of times Science Vessels stay alive for the duration of a TVZ, that's a Terran win about 90% of the time. The kind of game where Science Vessels are dying to Scourge left and right, that's usually a Zerg player about win, or a Zerg win about 90% of the time. So left side base, 9 o'clock base, coming up here from 0. Right side base is gonna die because there's nothing to save it at all. And I mean, this is kind of just a split map in half. High ground siege tanks in this position are always traditionally very, very good. That ult's are going to die before it reaches the ramp. Yep. Yeah. I mean, getting some Lings into this mineral line would be pretty sick, but the Lings are being stupid. Dark Swarm up, defensive matrix up, irradiate on the Ultralisks. Are there enough Ultras to bust through this? They're coming from the top side. Surrounding is always excellent in a TVZ, especially against mech. Ultras are dying, but they're taking a lot of tanks with them here, too. Yeah, that Ultra should probably pull back. Okay, doesn't matter, I guess. This tank. Yep. All right. Scourge. Oh, there it is. And the Scourge come in and wipe out several of the science vessels. Okay, that is exactly what Zero needed to win this game, was wiping out those science vessels, getting a bit of a win against an entrenched mech Terran position, and then kind of trying to follow it up. This is such a difficult spot to break, though. Look, you're going to Dark Swarm, but all your stuff's going to be dead. Okay, yeah, I mean, get in the mineral line. I just don't see why you're trying to get up this ramp. Nice Plague. Defiler dies. Fully in Dark Swarm, though, because of the splash. We know how that works. Another Ultra down, though. 180 to 165 supply here. Last, again, he's got the economy. He's got the bank to rebuild. And I really think if Zero's going to win this game, he needs to start killing bases. Last, I don't think he needs to kill bases to win this game. I really don't. I think at this point, the mech is so cost efficient, and he has so much money and so much map control that if he just allows the Zerg player to throw it up, I don't know. Here come the drops, though. Yeah, just allow the Zerg player to do this kind of stuff and hope it doesn't kill you. I don't know. It's a really passive way to play StarCraft, but when you're meching, it kind of works a lot of the time. Okay, sick Dark Swarms. This is the attack that Zero needed, too. He needed about 3 or 4 successive, really successful attacks, and that's kind of what's going on here. Adrenalings on those tanks are better than Ultras, yes. See how fast that tank dies to the Adrenalings? Absolutely, yes you do. Almost full upgrades here. The bottom left base is dead, which leads to a problem where this bottom right natural base is kind of dead here in the bottom left spawn. Dude, I told you, drops. I said that earlier, didn't I? I was like, drops. Okay, now we're at a point where bases need to die for the Zerg player for Last to win this thing, because this was an important base for him. A lot of production lived here. There's another command center here, too. He's going to try to trap the Ultras in this position, but, I mean, more Overlords. You've got Overlords to pick up and evacuate if you want. Not really that big of a problem. Lings, again, rolling through, finding where tanks are, clearing out spider mines with their little vulnerable bodies. Another great Dark Swarm, but I just know. Dark Swarm, when there's a million siege tanks, it just feels like there's a bunch of exceptions to the rule that Dark Swarm protects you from ranged attacks. Irradiating the Ultras gives them biological extra damage against these SCVs. The Dark Swarms are actually perfect here from Queen. But is it enough? That's always the question is. Your Dark Swarms need to be perfect, but look at this macro. Lass is continuing to pump tanks, except he's down 155 to 106 supply. The macro from Queen here, maybe even better. I've been calling him Zero. Again, same name, same player, but Queen wants to be known by Queen now, as Queen now. Staging for another attack here into the bottom left. If these bases die, I think Lass might just be dead. Dude, and then he GG's out. Whoa, Queen. That might be the most impressive handling of mech I've seen from a Zerg player against a professional Terran on the history of the channel. He's just like, oh, it's mech, cool. I'll drop on ya, use Incredible Dark Swarm, macro my face off, and just overwhelm you with Lurker Ling Ultralisk with Defiler support. Yeah, he couldn't. This number of tanks can't hold this number of Lings and Ultras. This base is dead. This base is still dead. And it knocks Last down to basically 1 base of income. It's not basically, it is. It is a 1 base of income scenario for him versus 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not working. This corner was key to him winning this game. And he lost it. Because of this drop. Because of the first drop. That did, well, I guess there was a drop over here too. Yeah, he knows. He knows if you're dealing with mech, drop on them. Drop Lings, drop Ultras, drop Defilers, get Dark Swarms up in the midst of a tank line. It's fun when you do. Hard to pull off, but man, Queen just never lost his cool. He was like, okay, sure, it's mech. Let's go ahead, get drops, research, get a bunch of Ultras, Lings out, get some Defilers, get Consume, and we'll just start dropping. We're very rarely going to run across an open field into 87 siege tanks, right? Because that's what will get you killed as a Terran player. It's just wasting ultras on nothing. But he's going to make trades, and it's not going to be super economical trades. But he's going to make trades. You know, 2 tanks down for 3 ultras, that kind of a thing. And eventually it's going to work out. And he was just so smart with his lings, too. Constantly running through, triggering spider mines with a handful of lings instead of with the ultras. I don't think we saw ultras take spider mine hits today. I really don't think we did, which is hard to do against Last when he's meching you. Right? There's spider mines everywhere. We talked about that. He will lay them everywhere. But the lings took them instead of the ultras. So absolutely sick play from Queen. He made mech look bad. Yo. All right. So 183,000 points there from Queen. 169,000 points from Last. Outproducing the Terran by about a 2-to-1 ratio. And getting killed by about a 2-to-1 ratio. So it evened out there. But economically, that's what killed Last year today was economy. Losing those 2 bases, couldn't keep up with it. If he had those 2 bases, he could have kept up. Buildings raised 33-2. And outspending the Terran at the end of the day. Impressively outspending the Terran by about 11,000 resources there. So, yeah, I figured the way that Last was able to get up those bases in the bottom left... amazing. Like, absolutely incredible stuff. So, well done. I mean, truly, truly, truly well done stuff there from Queen in a game where I was like, uh-oh, Last is meching. The Zerg has to do about 8 different things to beat this, and he did. He didn't panic. Again, I didn't sense any kind of worry at all. And as a Zerg player, I'm watching this, and I'm feeling worried, but I shouldn't have been. Because Queen's a monster. So GG, got a ZVT win against Mech here. No Queens involved. Just dem drops. That's all it's about. I mean, it's a million other things, but drops. All right, cool. So that right there is gonna be it from me. This is Ben Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw, what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.